Well, here we are. We're back.
Back in it.
It's actually a lot closer than the other times. My other desk has been like a little bit bigger, so this is basically like kissing each other.
Yeah. Move forward and move back, yeah. Hold hands.
Just hold hands.
Sing kumbaya. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Creative Appetite. Today I'm joined by my good friend Scott Findley. He is the head chef of Shelter now because Steve's taken another role.
Assistant to Steve, so yeah, Steve's right-hand man. Steve's
So Steve's your right-hand man.
I'm the left-hand man. Yeah.
But anyway, he's like the left-hand right-hand man of Steve, who is one of the owners of Shelter. I've had him on previously before, but not only that, Scott comes from a very long history of running businesses throughout Sydney and other places in Australia. And yeah, it's good to have you on.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
I feel like we're just going to dive into it. There's plenty to discuss. So
yeah,
I always like to leave the intros like short.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like if I give you a whole spiel, it's like, well, everyone knows what he's done now.
Yeah, they'll figure it out along the way.
Yeah. What are we going to... If you move that a little bit there, and then point that should be better. I think that's better, yeah.
That's good.
So, yeah, well, welcome to Bali.
Thank you.
Even though I think you've been...
Thanks for having me. 6 months.
6
almost.
months.
Yeah. Still fresh.
Oh, I've been... Yeah. No, I've been here longer.
Yeah, nice.
Sucked in.
Congrats.
Whatever. No, when did you start? So how did the whole Shelter thing come about?
Been mates with the one ho for years, for like 9 years or so. We met in Bondi years ago, and he's been trying to get me over to Bali for a long time. I've always had something going on in Sydney and stuff, and then I finished up work about 9 months ago. Gave him a call and said, "Yeah, I think it's time to move to Bali." And he said, "Get on a plane, motherfucker." And I said, yeah, I'll try and come out in the next month. So he's like, no, tomorrow. Jump on a plane tomorrow. So I did that. I jumped on a plane, came over. That's where I met Steve. The rest of the guys, I already knew Dan, one of the other owners. Met the rest of the guys, cooked an 8-course meal for everyone and went down well.
How do you handle on last minute you get flown out to come meet everyone and then all of a sudden they're like, now you're going to cook an 8-course meal. Yeah. Did you have any? Did you just like kind of make it up on the spot?
No, I had about 1 or 2 days to get it ready in my head on the plane. Yeah, wrote a bit of a menu on the plane and gave Stephen and the guys an ingredients list of what ingredients I needed and what they couldn't get. I brought a few spices over from Sydney and then
get locked up in customs, bringing over spices.
Not again. That's another story.
I feel like the laws here are pretty relaxed though. Compared to Australia. If you try to bring anything into Australia, they're like, what is that?
Yeah,
banned.
Is that an apple?
Yeah. What's inside that apple? There's drugs inside there, isn't there? Like, relax, James.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Come on, James.
So how did you get into cooking then? Because
young. I was pretty young. My grandpa's a really good cook. So, yeah, from a young age, I'd be alongside him. He's from Yorkshire in England, so... I started travelling early. I had my first birthday when I was 1. I had my first birthday on the plane on the way to England. That makes sense. I need another coffee.
So do I. Oh man, that was the best.
It's the truth.
It is a truth. Hey,
I had my first birthday when I was 1.
Only telling facts around here.
So I flew to England at a young age.
Yeah,
I was 0, and then I had my birthday on the plane.
Oh right.
So yeah, I got to England when I was 1. Started cooking with my grandpa. No, it was a few years later.
But so you were born in Australia?
No, born in New Zealand.
Oh, that's right. What?
I lived.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh man, this is starting off so
Great
strong.
Solid start. Yeah, so just growing up, cooking with grandpa in the kitchen. My parents are big travellers, like looking through their photo albums, like India, Africa, and I was like, said to Mum, I want to travel, and she's like, why don't you become a chef? You're having fun with grandpa, and you can always get a job anywhere around the world cooking. People always got to eat, so.
I feel like food's like the number one connection point to most humans.
Yes.
You can bring all different types of people together through food.
It's a good gift to have.
Or music. Music's the other one, but
it brings people together.
It's just it's so bizarre how you can have all these different problems going on in the world, but at the end of the day, you still got to sit across the table and look at someone and have food with them.
You have a tasty ceviche or something, and everything's okay.
And how do you find like being in Bali is different to like, because I know you used to own, or you still do own, like the Milky Lane stuff.
Yeah.
So
silent partner there.
If people don't know what that is, essentially it's just like a degustation burger joint.
Yeah, over the top burgers.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's like
American style burgers, shakes, cocktails. So
how did you go into that? Like, how was that because that's such a, I remember when it popped up in Sydney, actually. I was like, what is this? And there was so much hype around it. Like, I don't know who was doing the marketing, but
one of my business partners.
It picked up like so, like
it's just over the top. I mean, me and my good mate Patrick Killalea, we work together overseas. We used to work with musicians, so travel around the world. So we work with a few big artists, Madonna and Roger Waters. We did a big tour around America for about 6 months.
You toured?
I was cooking for the musicians, so I would travel around the world with them and look after them, cook them breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's hectic.
Yeah,
how does that go? How do you even land a job like that?
I was drunk in Germany at Beer Fest. I had like a pork knuckle in one hand and 2 steins in the other. I met a chef called Rowan Wills. We were chatting, and I'd just done a year working with Gordon Ramsay in London. I was going to go back and work for them, but he's like, man, I've just got this job. I'm working for Ben Harper when I finish up, because I'd just been to.
Ben Harper's a singer, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So he just got this job, this agency, and so he gave me the phone number. I'd just done 4 months traveling around Europe in a van with some mates, and I phoned up this agency and went and met him in London. Did them MTV Music Awards in Scotland for a month, which was crazy. Still working for a bunch of different artists, and then after that, I got a job with Beyonce. So I spent six weeks cooking for her around Europe.
I had no idea about this. We've been friends for a good.
I don't name drop.
a good month now. I'm learning too, guys. So don't worry. All right, let's unpack. There's a lot. There's a lot of information there. That
I've done some things. Some stuff.
I've lived a life.
Yeah.
So so you fly over to the UK at a young age.
Yeah, I was about 20.
This is where and then you go throughout life, and then you get to the point where you're like, all right, well, I want to do traveling, and then your mum obviously is like, you should probably look into doing cooking.
Yeah.
Where did that start? Like, where did you do your cooking school? I'm sure, because you said you worked for
Gordon Ramsay. I trained in New Zealand. So I did my chef course, EIT in Taradale. While I was doing that, I was working in a winery, doing like fine dining, and a winery called Selene Estate. Did that. As soon as I got my qualifications, jumped on a plane, came to Bali for like 6 weeks and went surfing. Went to the Gold Coast.
Classic Kiwi.
Yeah.
Classic Kiwi move, really.
Yeah. All the boys, was like 19 years old on the Gold Coast. All the boys are there, running a market, working at a restaurant called Montego's in Tederav for a year. And then, mum's English. She was going over to England for 6 months with my little sisters, and I'd been wanting to travel, and it was always my dream to work with Gordon Ramsay. And then, so I went over to England, did like 3 months in Yorkshire with my grandparents, worked in a little Yorkshire pub over there, and then went down to London for a weekend, stayed with my mate's older sister, and just had the best time in London. I was like, all right, this is the time. And then actually on the train back, I picked up a magazine and saw Gordon Ramsay was opening up a new restaurant called the Connaught Hotel, taking it over, and gave him a call and went back for a job interview. They were still building the hotel.
But how did you call them? Like, so you can't. Did you? So you're sitting on the train and you're looking at this magazine. Did you just call like the business number? Yeah,
no, it was an advertisement in a magazine saying the Connaught Hotel opening up soon. Gordon Ramsay's taking it over. We're looking for chefs. Contact this number.
That's how old you are. That job listings were in magazines.
Yeah, this is 2002.
Like now everyone's on like LinkedIn, or they go on like job.
We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the internet.
There was none of that.
No interweb.
The internet was dial up at home.
Yeah,
it had that crazy sound like.
Yeah.
Get off the phone! I'm trying to get
Mom.
the internet.
Meatloaf.
So you called up this the
Hotline.
hotline.
No, that was the other advertisement.
So, and then you spoke to, obviously I'm assuming you spoke to one of his staff.
Spoke to Neil.
You're not talking to him straight away.
Your dog, Gordon Dog, what's up?
Gordon's like, what's up?
Yeah, and I spoke with Neil Ferguson, as a head chef. Met him. He was like, we're still building the kitchen for the next 2.5 months, so we'll put you at one of our other restaurants, Claridge's, which is awesome. So, yeah, so I started at Claridge's, worked with Josh Emmett and Mark Sargison.
I don't know who they are.
Two are like Gordon's top chefs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really, really awesome. Josh Emmett's a Kiwi chef.
Must be great. That's why.
Yeah,
Kiwi's
he's
the best.
man. Yeah. But yeah, I had an awesome time working at Claridge's. Yeah, working with Mark Sarge and Josh Emmett.
Were you just out of like culinary school once you?
I'd done a year in the Gold Coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did like a 1.5, 2-year course in New Zealand.
Yeah.
A year cooking in Australia.
Right. Yeah.
And then 3 months in some little country pub in England, and then into London.
So overall, you're cooking. You were still at the like infancy stages, really.
Oh yeah,
of like how you
100%, still learning. Yeah, started as a commie chef, but
what? Sorry,
commie.
what's that?
It's the one before chef de party.
All right, you need to break this down because I don't even know. Like,
It's like a hierarchy.
There's going to be many people listening.
Like you kind of just
So
come out.
dish pig, I'm assuming is the first. The
Yeah,
first step.
yeah.
That's where
I started that. Yeah, I did dish pig back in New Zealand.
and then where do you go from there
To commie.
to commie? And then what do they do? What's their job role?
Like ideally, like usually you just kind of like on the section you're just still learning. You have a few shifts above you, like the chef de party. Like
So you're just doing like real small jobs. Like
yeah, but
and
I
kind of
was lucky.
assisting.
Yeah, I got on well with Josh, and usually when you start with Gordon, you get stuck in the corner peeling veggies. But yeah, he put me on hot starters, which was awesome. So I was actually running, even though my title was commie chef, I was running the hot starters section, so making all the pastas, all the scallops, all the seafood.
So
all the entrees.
because
Yeah.
that's all is. I could be wrong, but so if you're on that area, are you there because that's like all that food cooks relatively quick and you just like
It's just
pumping it out?
all the entrees.
It's just all entrees.
It's usually split up into the meat section, the fish section, the garnish section, so everything that goes on the plate with the veggies and stuff. And I got put on hot starters, which was awesome.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, it's good. Learn a heap, making sauces and cooking scallops and.
I didn't just like starting wanting to be a chef and they put you in peeling carrots.
Yeah,
I've done it before actually. I worked in a
all
restaurant.
potatoes. Yeah,
Yeah, I peeled like 25 bag kilos of carrots. Just
good times.
I think it's character building at some point. That's hectic. So you get this job. Was this the job? So that's from the job ad that you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
You went straight
the
into
hotline.
yeah, the hotline.
Yeah.
Oh, so run me through that. Like, so how old were you when you did this?
20.
Oh, so you're fresh.
Yeah, 23 years ago.
You're full of beans at that.
I was when I started. Yeah, after doing like 18-hour days, we were doing like 26-hour days. No.
What is the fascination being a chef? Because that's the part that people don't talk about.
Yeah,
it's like the stupid hours that they do.
Just get in there and get it done. I mean, it's tough, but at that stage, I was there to learn. I want to learn as much as I could.
Yeah, you're not really thinking about how shit is it that I have to do an 18-hour day.
Yeah, working in a basement underground in Mayfair, London. You know,
dark to dark.
Yeah, waking up at 5 a.m, running for the bus. It's snowing. You slip over in a puddle. You're freezing cold. You miss the bus. Finally get another bus. Get to work at like 6 a.m. Get yelled at for being like 3 minutes late. Work from 6 a.m. till 1 a.m. Wait at the bus stop. Back then there's hardly any buses, so you're just spending an hour in the bus stop in the snow.
So how many hours of sleep were you getting a night?
Get the bus. Fall asleep on the bus. Miss your stop. Go to Whitechapel. Get off the bus. Try not to get stabbed on the way walking back to Hackney. Get home. There's a house party with like 30 people. I was living in an old church that had been converted into apartments.
Yeah.
With like 30 people. It was mad. Cheap though. £50 a week, including food.
That is cheap. That's like a hostel.
Oh, it was mad.
That's hectic.
But yeah, I was living in the attic at that stage, so I'd have to, I'll get home, there'd be a big house party with DJs and smoke machines, and I'd have about 2 hours to wash my chef jacket and get back to work. So yeah, I'd have a beer, put my chef jacket on to wash, have a chat with a few people, and if I get time, I'd climb up the ladder to the attic, have like a 15-minute nap or whatever, and then go back to work.
Man, that is hectic. What are you doing? So you just like...
What are you doing?
Sleeping wherever you could ever possible. Lunch break, sleep.
What's
Bus,
a lunch
sleep.
break? There's no lunch break.
Well, you don't get lunch breaks as a chef, do you? It's just you eat on the go.
At Claridge's, we had like about 3 minutes to have after we did breakfast at Claridge's. So all the leftovers we were allowed to have that to have a little snack. So we'd kind of sit under the bench for like 2 or 3 minutes and smash that.
Action messing. There's a thing in the Navy called action messing. It's literally that. So when you're doing your defense training, so they do like big training modules sometimes, and they essentially run a ship as if you're going to war. So it's called action messing. So essentially it's just like a big revolving loop
like we're going
of people.
to war
like
every
people
day.
literally run in and you just like, all right. And you get like food and you just smash it and then you're out again like doing your task.
You never know when you're going to eat again.
Nah, so you're just trying to like consume as much, like running out the door like with bread in your hand trying to like eat. Yeah,
exactly.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, that's great. Lost heaps of weight.
Did you find, like, because I feel like in the area of chefing, like, drugs is such a big thing. It's like everyone's doing, like, smoking ice.
That's the annoying thing. I didn't realise everyone was on drugs until afterwards. So, everyone, I'm so tired. Everyone's like, come on, what's you tired for? I'm like, because I've had, like, 2 hours sleep in, like, 3 weeks. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Come on, let's go. Then later I think about it, I'm like, everyone was on cocaine. Fuck. If only I knew.
Things would be so much better. I'd be so much faster.
So less money, like... Be a crack addict. But yeah, it's probably a good thing I didn't.
Yeah, I wonder what the appeal is to do it.
It keeps you awake.
No, I mean, like, what is the appeal of working in an industry that's so heavily driven by, like, long hours, hard work?
It's character building. Yeah.
That's what Steve said. He's like, it's character building.
It's character building.
Got, like, pots and pans thrown at him.
Oh, yeah, I've had crazy stuff like that. Yeah. One guy overcooked pasta, so... Gordon opened up his jacket, put the pasta down his chef top, did it back up.
What? Wait, explain that again. Wait, tell me what?
One of the guys.
All right, explain this. Explain what happens. Run me through it. What? So you're in the kitchen.
Yeah, one of the chefs, he overcooked spaghetti. So Gordon grabbed the pan of hot spaghetti, tasted it, opened up his chef jacket, put the pasta down there, did his chef jacket back up. Another guy was making like a fig caramel. Yeah. And he burnt it. So Gordon took his hat off, put the caramel on his head, put the hat back on. And all right, fuck off, go up to Sainsbury's and buy some more figs. So you'd have to spend your own money. You'd be running, mid-service, you're running up to Sainsbury's in Mayfair, running around looking for some nice figs with hot caramel and your hat stuck to your head.
Oh, sorry, I fully was thinking that Gordon was doing it to himself. I was like, what kind of psychopath?
That's weird, bro.
I was like, yeah, that's all I was like.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
What kind of
I know what you're into.
Is this dude? He's like, yeah,
you like that?
Yeah, you like that. All right. Okay. So he's putting hot pasta down these guys' shirts and putting figs on their head and.
You got to teach him a lesson.
Yeah. Man, that's
discipline.
Discipline. Borderline bullying, abuse.
Oh, there's no border. Yeah.
There's no border in chefing, apparently.
No, doesn't count.
That's hectic. Did you ever have anything like that happen to you?
He didn't physically beat me at all, which is good. But I mean, I do things myself, like not on purpose. I was braising some fennel. So basically,
fennel's that herb, right?
Yeah, the star anise type. Yeah,
it's disgusting.
That's brilliant. With fish, it's beautiful. Oh. Yeah.
It's like the real thing. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm braising some of that in the oven just before lunch service, and I forgot about it. And so, like halfway through service, I see some smoke coming out of the oven. Gordon's at the pass, and I'm like, "Fuck!" So every time his back's turned, I like run down, open the oven, like fucking smoke's coming out. I'm like, "Fuck! I got to get this out of the oven, otherwise Gordon's gonna find out and he's gonna fucking kill me." So throughout, and all the other chefs kind of caught on to what I was doing, and like they were fucking cracking up, and the whole service, I'm trying like, quickly I turn the oven off, and then like he's like looking around, and then I just couldn't get it out without him seeing it. And as soon as Gordon, after lunch service, after he walked out, I just ran a knee slide, grabbed the pan without a tea towel. The tea towel slipped off. The pan stuck to my hand. Ran through the butchery, chucked in the sink, smoke everywhere. Massimo, the sous chef's just cracking up, laughing at me. But Gordon didn't see it happen, which is good.
Because the pass is where you stand at shelter, right?
Yeah,
It's like where all the receipts come in.
So it's a Gordon standing there at the pass. Behind him's there's an oven for the sauce section.
Yeah.
where I was raising the fennel. So I was.
So it's literally like right where he is.
Yeah, bro. I was like running in like full stealth, just like trying to open the oven, smoke's coming out, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "No.
That's all I'm
No. But he would have really had a go at me if he found out. But the pan stuck to my hand. My hand's just like ruined. This is the lunch service. I've still got to work until 1 a.m. And then so yeah, I've got to like I'm working over the I was in garnish section, so basically everything that goes on the plate, apart from the meat or fish, was me. So all the I think we had 16 main courses, and every main course had about 5 or 6 components that went. So I'm juggling pans. So I've got this super hot burnt hand.
I've burnt. You know, remember in school in like science, you had like the Bunsen burners. And you had I remember I grabbed one of them after using it. Like we were burning something.
Yeah, don't do that.
And I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot. Like my brain just grabbed the top of it, burnt like all my fingers.
Yeah, bro, it was like all in between my fingers. Like it stuck to my hand. I had to like get it off. But then so I that afternoon I'm braising all these veggies with my hand over the heat, and then I had a thing of ice on my section. And Gordon's like, "What's going on over there? What have you bloody done to your hand?" I'm like, "Oh, I burnt it earlier, Gordon." He's like, "Oh, that's fucked. That looks bad." And he's like, "You can't go to hospital because we need you for service. I'll let you go to hospital after service." So like, yeah, I worked 6 hours.
What did you do? Just wrap it up with a tea towel?
Nah, there's no time for that.
No time for tea towels.
Nah. He let me have a bit of ice. I dunk it in ice.
Just hold your hand in the bucket of ice while you're trying to do everything else.
Nah, I just had to deal with the pain. Then 1 o'clock in the morning, he's like, "All right, fuck off, go to hospital." Went to hospital, saw the doctor. He's like, "Man, you're going to have to take like 3 weeks off work. Here's a note." He wrapped it up. Next morning, I knew I was going to get fucking bollocked.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you go in there with a little note. They're like, "Oh, this is cute."
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I was like, "Gordon, I know this is not going to work, but yeah, this is just what the doctor said." He's like, "Yeah, fucking bullshit." Like, screwed the note up. He's like, "What the fuck's that on your hand? You look like Michael Jackson. Take that shit off." So he made me take off my bandage, and then just, rather than having 3 weeks off, I just got back to work and just got it done.
Man, that sounds like the most hectic story. What was your like? Because obviously, when you're in the chef world, and you think, and you know, Gordon is on this celebrity status of chefing, probably similar. I'd say he's like in the same realm of like Anthony Bourdain. That's the kind of vibe they give off for someone who's not a chef. So when you're working in this, so you finally get this job. Do you remember the feeling that when they're like, "All right, we're going to give you this job, but we're just going to put you in this other restaurant first"? Were you like over the moon? Were you like, "Oh, man,
yeah, I've
made it! Like, I'm the guy."
Yeah. I was loving it, and I was having so much fun at Claridge's as well. It was awesome.
Like right up until you started working, and then you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, no. While I was working, Claridge's was
Because he wasn't in Claridge's, right?
He's in Claridge's.
Oh, he's in there as well.
Yeah, we were shooting a TV show for the Connaught as well. So they were shooting.
What?
It was a TV show called the Connaught Hotel, Trouble at the Top.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they shot a little bit at Claridge's, and then when we did the opening for the Connaught Hotel, they were in the kitchen every day, which is pretty full on with you're getting bollocked and yelled at, and you've got a camera in your face and a guy with a boom mic and
trying to stay calm.
Yeah, try not to cry.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, it's good.
So how did you feel then when you see Gordon walk into the kitchen for the first time? You're like, "Oh my god, he's coming in with like an aura."
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, "What the fuck you look at?" Yeah, that was awesome.
Is he actually as skits as what? I mean, you've pretty much described what he sounds like.
I mean, it's all.
Or is it relative?
It's all valid. Like it's all about the food being perfect. I understand it's his name on the line, and it's like it's got to be everything's got to be perfect. And that's one of the reasons why I ended up leaving, because I started turning into him. When I started making people cry, because it was like, so I was running the section, and I had one of my commies. You know, if they passed me something that wasn't perfect, wasn't caramelized right, wasn't cooked correctly, I had to hand it to Gordon, and he's going to bollock me.
Yeah, so
it's like a chain.
So you worked your way up from dish pig to commie, and what's after commie? Sous chef.
Chef de party.
Or
demi chef, then chef de party, then junior. Yeah, junior.
It's like an office rank in the Navy. That's what it sounds like. Midshipman, sub-lieutenant, lieutenant, lieutenant commander. So you work your way all the way up, right up until the pass. Is that just before the pass?
Yeah.
What's that, head chef?
Yeah, sous chef. Yeah, senior sous chef, head chef. Yeah.
Right. And then, is head chef Gordon, or is he
He's executive.
Executive.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's like the pass. So the executive is at the pass, and then head chef is next.
Yeah, so we had Angela Hartnett. So it was her like menu concept of at the Connaught Hotel.
Yep.
And then Gordon was like the executive chef of the group. Yeah. So Angela Hartnett wrote the menu. It was like French Italian, and then Gordon kind of overseed it. And then we had Neil Ferguson as well.
Right. So I guess at like his level, it's just his name then, right? So
but
it sounds like he's not really writing the menus. He's just overseeing and making sure that it works.
Yeah, and he's like, if he's got any changes to the menu, and but then he was, when we did the opening, it was good. This was like 2002, so he was still like, I think he had about 3 or 4 restaurants then. So he was.
How many years did you work for him? Like
I was just over a year. Yeah.
So you worked your way up in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I was running Garner section when I left. Well, I was planning on coming back.
Yep.
I just needed a break, and so as I said, like I was kind of turning into him when I was like when I made one of my comedies cry. I was like, "Fuck, this is
a bit too intense."
Yeah, I was like, I need to take some time out.
I'm getting tired. My brain's starting to switch. Okay.
So then I decided to take some time off. Me and 7 mates bought a van and drove around Europe for 4 months.
That's a good time.
Yeah, it was.
That would have been partying.
Yeah. There's like about 75 other bands doing the same thing. So we all left London and drove around Europe for 4 months.
That's sick. That would be fun.
It was fun. Yeah, it was my first time touring around Europe, and just exploring. And if we liked the place, we'd stay. If not, we'd like carry on doing convoys and stuff. And
did you guys ever get like days off when you were chefing, or you just working 7 days a week?
Ideally, we used to get. Oh, that's the thing. Like when I was working at Claridge's, it was awesome. Like Josh gave me epic days off. I used to get Saturday, Sunday, Mondays off.
Well, that's heaps good.
It's so good. In those 4 days, you're working like 19, 20 hours a day.
Yeah, so you're working. So basically in your 3 days off, you're sleeping.
Probably
not at that age.
I was partying. Yeah.
There's a lot of partying.
Yeah.
A lot of raving.
It was London in the early 2000s. So it was a vibe.
That would be a vibe.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a time.
Yeah, hell of a time. Fabric and all the clubs and.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come back to work on the Tuesday a bit more wrecked than. It's like, you idiot! What are you doing?
I should have slept.
Yeah, damn it. Next time.
Yeah, say that for the next 20 years. Next time I'll get there. And
it's the last time. One more, no more.
I'm never drinking again.
I'm not drinking any more. I'm not drinking any less either. Same amount.
So how did you? So after you leave working for Gordon Ramsay, where did you go from there? So you travelled.
Yeah, so that's when I did the tour in the van.
Yep.
Met Rowan here, and I did the MTV Music Awards. Did the 6 weeks with Beyonce, and then the plan. Gordon was opening up a restaurant in New York.
Yeah.
So the plan was to go out to New York and help with the opening and doing that. But yeah, I did the tour with Beyonce, and then I had all this money.
So how do you even so you do the MTV stuff?
Yeah.
Let's break that down because that's like a whole nother section. Because so you've gone from working for someone who's like in a high intensity kitchen. What was his TV show called? Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
That was called.
Oh, yeah, the original one, Boiling Point.
Boiling Point.
Yeah, that was.
All right. So you're working in a boiling point. No joke. I was going to do with that. Anyway, so you're working in this like high intensity like commercial kitchen essentially.
Yeah.
And then you go to something completely different like MTV where it's all producers and TV shows and
that was still pretty intense.
Yeah, so what's the schedule in that kind of scenario?
We were leading up to show day. Show day we're cooking for about 1,300 people.
And how many people are in the kitchen?
12, 14 people.
That's a lot of people to cook for with not that many staff.
Yeah, it was full on. So it was still tough. That was full on. We were backstage. I was working like the buffet section, so doing all the salads and stuff, and it was full on. But I did that for 30 days straight.
What's the food level like at that degree? Are you making like really high end?
Pretty good.
Or is it just kind of like bulk?
No, it is bulk, but we still get we got lobster, duck, sea bass.
Yeah, right.
We got some really good
produce.
Produce. Yeah. And then he was using my knowledge from Gordon, and
Did you start at the bottom, or were you kind of in a bit of higher role?
Yeah. I was running the buffet section. Me and another guy, Darren.
Okay.
Yeah. And then then had all this money. Went to Tahiti.
Well, how did you get to the Beyonce part then? How do you go from like How do you just weasel your way into end up
I don't know.
cooking?
I woke up in a bush one.
Woke up in a mansion. It was really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we had like it was like the better you did, the more the craziest thing you did, you get more promotion with that. So it was this lady called Kim Davenport. She started the company back in the day making sandwiches for Paul McCartney. She's amazing.
Beatles, Paul McCartney. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Look at me go.
Yeah, they go right.
Oh, they're pretty big, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, I went to the MTV show, MTV Awards after party, and yeah, had a big night.
And just like ran into, obviously, because all the celebrities are there doing their thing.
Yeah,
That was in like peak celebrity time, I think. I feel like celebrities are kind of dropped off now.
yeah, back in 2000, 2002, 2003.
Yeah, I think in my like with the age of social media, I feel that celebrities are still big, but it's not as
Yeah, you
dominant as
like,
what it used to be because you
Yeah.
got so many like influencers and
Yeah,
whatever
well,
now. Everyone's an influencer, but yeah, I feel like that has taken some of the attention off the celebrities. So
Yeah.
if that kind of makes sense,
yeah,
like
the whole
where
social media thing.
in the 2000s there was like magazines and stuff, so they're constantly like
Yeah, they're in there.
paparazzi and. So how did you find? How did you feel when you're standing in these after parties and you got all these like crazy big names coming around you? Like Beyonce, for example, at that time she was like
She was
like
up
prime.
and
She was
coming.
like-
Yeah,
yeah.
she just finished up with
Destiny's Child.
yeah. That's her first couple of tours.
So then she would have been going solo at that time.
She was one of a few first solo tours. Yeah.
I've heard some crazy stories about her. I heard this story about her that she walked out of a shop, hopped in her limousine or whatever car she was in, and they turned around, drove to the other side of the road, then she jumped out.
Really?
I've heard that she's like quite intense to work for.
We had a shimmy off once.
A what?
Like shimmy.
Like a dance off?
Yeah.
Is she a nice person?
Yeah, she's cool. Like, so we had the end of tour party in this big club in Dublin. So we had this private area of the club, and yeah, had a dance off with her. I think it was pretty even.
You reckon?
Yeah,
You reckon
I can shimmy pretty good.
you held down the
Yeah,
making New Zealand proud.
yeah. No, she was cool. And then she'd come to the kitchen in the afternoon and ask for a grilled cheese sandwich and make grilled cheeses together. And
Yeah, how does it work in terms of when you're then, because you're working for her, so essentially does she just come in and go, all right, I want this, and you're like, all right, no worries, we'll just make that.
yeah, you suggest something, or like on what country, because we're touring all around Europe, we've got to do like a Spanish dish here in Spain, or
She was
Italian.
like quite she wanted to like go with the countries kind of thing. She didn't.
Yeah, well, that's what we did because I work with a bunch of different artists, and you go to the markets in the morning, you have a rough menu, and then you just kind of see other produce that's epic and just kind of ready, steady cook. Just bring all the ingredients back. And
Do you ever have any like moments in that time where you were just like by yourself going, what the hell is like what is going on? Like how am I here right now doing this? You're like wandering around the fresh produce market. You're like, I'm literally getting food to go cook for these big names. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I'd be tripping out. I'd be really just
I was tripping for 10 years.
just pondering on it, going, what? How is this? Oh well,
What's going
like
on?
I'm here.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because you said Madonna as well. You did some stuff with her. Is that right?
It's been about 5 years working with her. Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Like as a personal chef? Or?
On tour. So you're cooking for her band, all the crew, truck drivers. So the big stadium tours, you're cooking for about 350 people.
Yeah, that's like a whole ensemble.
And then some tours you're just cooking for the artist. I worked with Pink for 5 years, and some tours you're cooking for the crew. Sometimes you're cooking just for her and the band.
Oh, like her personal chef kind of.
Yeah. So you just like, but just on tour. So backstage you're cooking for her and her band, just doing like dinner and stuff. Yeah.
Apparently she's really cool.
She's super cool. Yeah.
She's super fit.
Yeah.
Like you see her in concert. I've never seen her in concert, but I've seen videos. And she's like swinging upside down, singing. I'm like,
Yeah, she's an acrobat, so she used to like bungee jump out of like the cranes and stuff. And
that's intense. Out of all of them that you've worked with, who was the best one?
I mean, Paul McCartney was a legend. Did 7 years with him.
I feel like he would be a cool.
Super
He would have
cool.
some cool stories.
Super cool. Like you just be cooking, and all of a sudden Paul's standing behind you. Go, hey, there you go.
It's such a you were in this like different kind of realm. Like I've had people on before. So a good friend of mine, Jim Barton, he was a sound engineer for like Queen
Cool.
Metallica and like all these really big people.
You don't.
And it's funny because you're in that similar situation where you're brushing shoulders with these massive celebrities, but you're there for a task.
Yeah.
So you're there for a job. So to you, because the thing that he said, he was like, he wasn't really affected by their celebrity status because he was like, I'm just there to do a job. So like, you're not really looking at him like, oh my God, this is this person. He's like, yeah, that happens maybe for like half a second. Yeah, and you're like, all right, now I got a job.
You get numb to it.
Yeah.
And then they're like family. Like I've been worked with Rod Stewart since 2004.
What was Rod Stewart? Is he in a band or was that he was solo artist?
He's solo. He was in a band called The Faces back in the day.
Yeah.
With Ronnie Wood from
He's got that spiky blonde hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a few songs with him.
It's unreleased yet, but we're
No, I danced on stage with him. He actually played in my hometown in New Zealand.
Yeah, right.
And I had all his band over to my house for a barbecue the night before. And they're like, yeah, Rod wants you to get up on stage tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll go off my Superman undies. And
most extreme thing.
Yeah. I'd had a few beers by that stage.
Oh.
And then I got the next day I got cut that shit out.
This happens to me all the time. Oh.
The next day I got backstage.
Yeah.
Hungover as fuck. Rod's like, you ready to go on stage with me later on? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, the guy said you're going to come on stage in your Superman undies later and dance to that song, If You Think I'm Sexy.
I don't think I've heard any of his music. I feel like
you would have. So you know that song he sings sexy?
Oh, I'm going to have to listen to it.
You got to.
I'll listen to it.
I'm not going to sing it now.
Are you sure? You don't want to give it a go?
If you think I'm sexy and you want my body.
Yeah, I know that song. Come on, won't you let me know? Yeah.
Na.
Yeah, I know that song.
I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, oh, yeah, wearing my Superman undies. Right on. And then so here I am in my hometown, 30,000 people in a winery. And I'm on stage in my Superman undies, just like shimmying off in front of the crowd. And like, you know, I've been doing this for about 10 years' time. And I told friend, like, there's a rumor like, yeah, Scott used to work with celebrities. And he was like, fuck, bullshit. That's all. I heard that's a rumor. He doesn't do that. And then, you know, I'm on stage in my undies dancing with Rod Stewart. I'm like, fucking told you guys.
Told you.
Bitches. Yeah.
That's hectic.
But he's a legend. So I actually cooked for him last year as well, when he came through Sydney.
So you just bounce. So your career went from working for Gordon Ramsay and then you just started bouncing around on tours with celebrities.
Yeah, I'd basically tour for like 3 or 4 months, get all this cash, pick some spot in the woods, go surfing.
Yeah.
Go surfing till my money ran out, stay in mad resorts and have a good time. And then when my money ran out, I'll call up my boss and be like, Kim, I'm out of money. What's going on?
Do you have a manager then?
Kim, Australian lady, Kim Davenport, she runs the company. So I'd give her a call and just say, look, I'm out of money and I'm keen to go back on tour.
And then you just jump back on tour.
And then, she'd put me on a plane from where I was. And she's like, right, love, you're going to Moscow tomorrow. Jump on the plane, it's all sorted. And I'll jump on a plane and next thing I know, I'll go from South Africa to surfing in J-Bay, South Africa. And then I'm in Moscow in the snow cooking for Paul.
Did you ever have a chance to sit down with any of these guys and just start asking them questions about how they feel about their life and how it's kind of gone? Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, Rod, yeah, we got on pretty well with Rod.
Because I find it so interesting. It's like, you know, someone like yourself who's done something like this, it's still on the same level of excitement and like surrealness. You know what I mean? I'd still liken it to the fact that maybe not to like a full extreme degree of like being a celebrity like Beyonce where you're getting constantly bombarded by paparazzi, but it's still that same, like your body doesn't know the difference. You know what I mean? Like you're still going to have that same dopamine effect of going like, oh, I'm like traveling the world, like sitting on the beach after you've just done a tour and you're like, what the hell's going on? Like this is a fast. That's why I think it's cool when you see people living an interesting life. Yeah. Because I guess not a lot of people get to live that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you make of it. You set yourself a goal, and I'd always do that. Like, I wanted to be a chef, so I was like, did my chef course. And it was like, I want to work in Australia. Went to Australia. Then I wanted to work for Gordon. That was my goal. Went and did it. I wanted to travel, yeah. And it was always my goal to move to Bali. And
in the end.
And I'm here.
Now you're living the dream.
Yeah.
Working at shelter.
Yeah. It's awesome.
On the past.
Yeah.
You've made it to the past.
I've made it. Yeah. from dish big to the past.
To the past. It's only taken 20 years, but we got there.
Oh,
How long have you been working as a chef for?
Since 96. Well, I wouldn't say it as chef. I started as a dish pig.
What's that? Nearly 20 years. 20 years. No, it is 20. Wait, I'm terrible at maths.
It's
96
definitely more than 20 years.
2006, that's 10. 2006 to 2016, that's 20. 2016 to...
At least 10 years.
Jesus, you've nearly been working for like 30 years as a chef.
Yes.
If you said 96...
Over half my life, yeah, shit. Well over, yeah. Shit, I'm old.
Do you want to know something real crazy? This will make you feel old.
Yeah.
I'm 30.
Fuck, you're like half my age.
There was this funny when I was in the Navy. There was this shit.
You're in the Navy?
I was in the Navy.
In the Navy.
I have lived a life.
All right.
Not as pretty as actually no, I've lived a pretty hectic life. I've done some weird things.
Yeah. How weird?
Well, the Navy was a pretty interesting one.
Yeah.
I mean, you're working. The Navy's kind of like being a chef in regards to there's a lot of discipline and structure that
Like
you
Steven Seagal.
No, a bit more like Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you have to have like a certain level of discipline to
You do, yeah.
to do it, and I'm not a disciplined person, so I don't know how I managed.
Do you get in trouble all the time? Or?
Oh, dude, it was
How many times do you get yelled at?
so many.
Jesse, what the fuck?
And the thing was, I used to argue a lot as well.
That's
I'm
the thing
quite
with
an
Gordon. Don't answer back. You get in trouble for something that happened on your days off. As soon as you be like, Gordon, it was my day off, he would just rip into you. You just be like, accept it. Yes, chef.
Yeah,
it was me.
Steve tried to do that to me the other night at Mosto. He was trying to like, what? I said I was leaving, and he's like, nah, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking? He's like, nah. I was like, no, I don't. I was like, don't try chef me, mate.
I can't believe you tried to leave.
Yeah, I was like,
It was only like 10 o'clock.
what? Why did I have to? Oh no, I was getting up early to go surfing.
Oh, you went that
I was
trip.
going to Mediwi.
Fair
I had
enough.
to get up at like 5 in the morning.
Yeah,
apparently that's not
not
enough. It's not a good enough excuse.
Should have come up with something more.
Yeah, something stronger.
Yeah, something. At least done a shot on your way out.
Yeah.
Made him feel better.
Yeah, he's trying to teach me like I'm a dish pig. I was like,
Yeah,
relax,
yeah.
I'm not even working. I'm
You're
your
not my
friend.
boss.
Yeah, I'm your friend. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to argue. So I remember one time I argued in my recruit school. I didn't argue on purpose, but the thing is with me is if someone gives me they ask me a question,
Yeah.
and then they didn't want the answer.
No question with question.
Yeah, they're like, shut your mouth when I'm speaking to you.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Yeah. I was like, what? So I was just like, explain the problem. They're like, that's it. You gotta write it. Like, I had to write a massive 200-word essay on why I shouldn't talk back.
Idiot.
Anyway, I don't know where I was going with this, but that's what I was saying. It was so when I got to the boats and I started going out to sea, one of my skippers, like my captain of the vessel, he'd been in the Navy 2 of my lifetimes. No, nearly 2 of my lifetimes. He'd been a captain. He'd been in the Navy for like 40 years.
Far out.
And at the time, I was 20. Yeah, it was 2 of my lifetimes because at the time I was like 22 or something.
You're like 60 something.
Yeah, he's like old. But I was like, dude, that's crazy. Like, imagine working in a job so long that you literally wouldn't know. Like, at that point, you're kind of institutionalized.
It is, yeah. Like touring, you become institutionalized. Like a lot of the guys are like still doing it. I did it for about 10 years on and off, but like it's just you get everything done for you. Like you're living in hotels, you get your washing done. It's so like that. So it's good to.
What were the hours that you're working?
Oh, full on. I think the longest day I did was 36 hours.
No sleep.
No, we're in South America, which helped.
But say no more.
Yeah.
Say less.
We were say less.
Say less.
No, I started work at 9 p.m. This is working for Paul McCartney. Where were we? Peru. We're in Peru, and we started at 9 a.m. and we finished at 1 in the morning the next day.
It's almost like.
But then
a Ferrari team, like a Formula One team.
Yeah,
like there's so many people involved.
Stealth, yeah.
You know, it's like people only see like the driver. It's the same. It's like people only see Paul McCartney, but they don't see like all the stage crew.
Yeah. So we had all our ovens and flight cases, all our spices and stuff. So like everything would travel in the truck. So first thing in the morning, we'd like design the kitchen backstage, set everything up. I'll go to the markets, come back, cook breakfast, lunch, dinner, pack everything down, put it on the plane or put it on the bus, on the truck, and just go to the next country.
That's crazy.
So yeah, every morning we had to build the kitchen.
Did you ever have any days off?
Yeah. So like I did that 36-hour shift in Peru, but then we got 2 weeks off. It was mad.
Yeah, right. So it's kind of like relative.
Yeah,
not like commercial chefing where it's like you're just busting.
Yeah, like you get your tours. Like Tina Turner was awesome. We do 2 days on, 2 days off.
Hey?
You heard of her?
Yeah, I know. You're just dropping all these names. I'm like, far out. Who else have you worked? Who haven't you worked for?
Yeah, it's probably easier. Who haven't I worked for?
So, have you worked for Jay-Z?
Yes.
I mean, was he dating Beyonce at the time?
Just before.
She would have been real young then, eh?
Yeah,
Early
yeah.
2000s. Like,
Yeah.
she would have been.
Yeah, I worked for Jay-Z a few tours. It was awesome.
What's he like?
He's cool.
I feel like they must all be cool. They get a bad rap.
Yeah, I mean, I worked with Kanye West, and he got a bad rap, but he's actually pretty cool.
I've heard some crazy stories about Kanye through Carson, actually.
Yeah.
He was saying one of his friends was his producer or something like that. Had something, would worked with him for quite some years.
Yeah.
And he was saying he would just come in and just redesign everything.
Yeah.
He'd be like, no, I don't like that. Start knocking down walls and like redesigning
Yeah.
just like fixing everything.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, like this.
He's actually, he's pretty cool. Like, we thought he was going to cancel the tour. His mum actually passed away when we were doing the rehearsals.
Oh.
She had that treatment, and we thought he was going to cancel the tour. But because she was his manager and stuff, as a respect, like, tribute to her, he continued the tour.
Oh, his mum was his manager, was she?
Yeah. But he continued the tour, and I did a few tours with Kanye. And one of the cool moments for me was when I was working with Rihanna a few months later backstage. I'm not name dropping at all.
Anyway, this is not a big deal.
No, it's not a big deal. But I'm backstage cooking for Rihanna, and then Kanye walks past, big hugs and everything. And everyone's like, "How the fuck do you know Kanye?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know the people."
I don't
What?
God, even.
He's my boy.
Message him actually.
Yeah.
We'll catch up for a beer.
Yeah. But yeah, that was one of the coolest moments. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, especially someone like him. He's so profound.
Yeah, he's a bit out there now, but yeah, he's.
Well, was he like that earlier on? Because
No,
I've heard
this was like
they reckon
2000
when his mum was, when he was with his mum, like when his mum was alive.
Yeah.
She kind of kept him like
In check. Yeah.
in check.
Yeah, I think they just went AWOL after that.
It kind of sounds like the same story of like when Mike Tyson's trainer died.
Oh yeah.
Similar same thing happened. Like he was during that time when he was alive, he was like real disciplined.
Yeah.
Like,
Did he
and then as soon as he died,
bought some
people
tigers and
people got involved in him. They just started like making him crazy.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Happened to me too.
So you're doing these like. So how does it kind of work then in terms of? So you have your manager or your boss essentially.
Yeah.
And she's like the overseer of everything.
Yeah. Coordinating all the tours and stuff, and
then you're just brushing shoulders with like, well, I guess the celebrities, but plus like all their band and their staff, and everyone's just At that point, it'd just be like work, right? It'd just come through.
I became good friends with a lot of the band members and stuff, and on our days off, would hang out, and when they came to New Zealand, they'd come over and hang out.
Because a lot of them, because you would on the like obviously you see these like artists and whatever, but you wouldn't really associate with them too much, would you? Because they'd, for the most part, would they just come in, do their show, and then they'll just
pretty much, Pink was super cool. Like every 2 weeks, she'd throw a staff party. So this is before she had her kids and stuff. So like we'd like have these amazing parties with like snow machines and sumo wrestling and
just like
karaoke. I can remember like me and the guitarist in the backup singers are singing karaoke and in front of Pink. It was awesome.
That's mad. Did you? And then so you do this for 10 years, pretty much.
Yeah.
What made you decide to get out of that?
I've been doing it, for just living out of a suitcase, and I'd spent the last 3 years. I was based in LA, so I was there with my girlfriend, and we were based there. And then I was looking at potentially opening up my own little place in Venice Beach. And then I went back to Sydney for a holiday, and my friend Paddy just had moved back there, and we would always talked about opening up a restaurant together. We did the tour with Roger Waters around the States for 6 months.
Roger Waters. I don't even know who that is.
Have you heard of Pink Floyd?
Yep.
Yeah, he's
in there.
Yeah,
there you go.
He's done some stuff for them.
I literally just know the band. I know the name.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
That's how.
Yeah, he went off and did when him and David Gilmour fell out. He went off and did a solo,
Right.
as Pink Floyd. He did the Wall tour, which was amazing. They built the wall up. And
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
That's the Pink Floyd sing the song "Brick in a Wall," right?
Yeah, that was
another brick in a wall.
Yeah, they actually built the whole wall throughout the concert.
Yeah.
And then at the end, a plane flew down and flew into it.
I'm gonna sound like the biggest kook. Feel like you don't know Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I know who Pink Floyd is, guys. All right, I'm not retarded. I'm just saying I don't know the band names.
You do now.
But apparently
You're learning.
I'm learning things.
You're learned.
I actually listened to their album, and to be honest, I wasn't really
Impressed?
Not impressed as in
done
like
better.
no, not like that. I just did. It wasn't really my taste. I listened to it and I was like, I don't really find this. Yeah. It's not
The
making
Wall or Dark Side of the Moon?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like to, what I like to do is I like to, when things are so popular, I want to know why they're popular. So then I listen to them, or like whatever it is, to understand it. Because then I'm like, is it popular because it's just become hyped up, and then someone's like, this is really amazing, and then maybe 10 people are like, yeah, this is really amazing, and then people just sheep.
And
people just follow
the first
suit.
person didn't even like it in the first place.
Yeah,
He just said it for a laugh.
yeah, they're like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like some things are really overhyped because everyone was just following suit. And everyone's like, yeah, it's really, really good. But it's like, is it really good? It's like, I don't know. So I'm not saying, but me personally, I didn't really, from memory, when I listened to it, I was like,
Have another listen.
I'm going to have to have it.
Crank it up.
Apparently, though, this is what I have heard, that you can't, if you listen to it sober, it doesn't have the same effect. You need to be on some type of substance.
Some kind of...
That is what I've heard. I've seen it in...
Maybe you listened to the wrong album. Maybe you listened to Dub Side of the Moon. That's the reggae version.
I think, what people say, it's on acid, you got to listen to it. Someone said, I can't remember what
Apparently, with their other album, The Wall, apparently if you play The Wall and Wizard of Oz at the same time...
They're the same.
It's connected.
It's connected.
Yeah, I've never done it, but...
We should try.
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe we should do it with them.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to sit people, artists down and like pull up what people, like the general population say about their album.
Yeah.
And then ask them if that's what they think.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend, he was an artist, and he still is an artist, and he made a song, and he was like, you tell me what you think the song is. And I explained it to him what I thought it was, and he's like, no, it's like the polar opposite to that. And I was like, so like it's funny because it's fascinating, like what you individually interpret something.
Or you think the words are for years. like Brown Eyed Girl, hey there amigo. Hey there amigo.
Oh man.
Hey, where do we go? Yeah. Anyway,
getting back to
the States. Yeah, so me and Patty did 6 months around the States. We went spend a lot of time down south, smoked meats, all that kind of southern style food. We always talked about opening up like a smoked meat place. Yeah. So we went back to went back to Australia like a year before me, and the plan we always talked about opening up a restaurant together. I moved back to. He was helping out a friend opening a restaurant called Panama House in Bondi. So yeah, I helped Patty and Kappa and Brent Mills open up that place, and me and Patty were there for a couple of years, and then we eventually looked at sites and opened up our own place. Opened up a place in Bondi called 2 and 12. 2 and 12 is the postcode of New York. So that was the name of the
a homage.
Yeah,
homage to the New York.
It was based off this amazing smokehouse restaurant in Brooklyn that we used to go to called Fetty Sal. So yeah, smoked meats, all your sides and stuff, and yeah. So we had that for a year, and then two of our business partners wanted out. So me and Patty didn't want to leave. We're not fucking leaving.
We're not leaving.
And then we had two, Pete Hazelhurst and Christian Avan.
Why have I heard Pete Hazelhurst? I've heard that name before somewhere. I don't know. What does he do? Who is he?
Don't worry.
Why do I know that name? I've heard that name before. Anyway, sorry.
Anywho. They had a concept called Milky Lane. They didn't have a chef. They didn't have, but they had the name and what they wanted to do. I'd already been speaking to them a little bit a few months before, saying, I could write a burger menu for you if you guys want. I had a basic menu. That was just going to be a side project. They were still looking for a site. And then when our two business wanted out, I was like, why don't we take over 2 and 12 and turn it into Milky Lane? So that's what happened.
Okay.
So two partners left. Me and Patty stayed in. Pete and Christian jumped in, and we turned 2 and 12 into Milky Lane. That was the original Milky Lane. 2016.
Yeah, right.
And that just went crazy. And yeah, we had the Bondi one, and then we opened up 10 more restaurants.
If people don't, if no one's ever heard of it, I highly recommend just jumping on the Instagram and you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, I haven't done the food there for about 4 years, so it needs to.
But even if you just see the burgers, you would, if you want to have a heart attack, just go to Milky Lane.
Yeah, go there.
Essentially.
Yeah.
It's pretty like,
Yeah.
some of those burgers are crazy.
Oh,
Was that the whole angle with that restaurant? It's like go absurd.
No, I mean the original plan was like gourmet burgers. That was me and Patty's idea. But then it turns out, you know, the general public,
don't care
Yeah.
about your gourmet burgers
Nah.
whatsoever.
Well, that looks fancy. Yeah,
It's too fancy.
Let's put a fucking Mars bar in it. That would fucking it's like, what the fuck? It's deep fry Magnum and whack that in the burger. Let's get mac and cheese.
Who makes this? Did you make that rest like the menu for that?
The original one, yeah. Me and Patty did.
Was the original one that crazy?
It wasn't super. Like it wasn't like we wouldn't get a Magnum and deep fried and put it in a burger.
Who came up with that idea?
Probably Christian. Yeah. Or like maybe someone commented something. But I did do one which was pretty banging called the cheeses. I get mac and cheese, make deep fry the mac and cheese into a bun. And have that as that was actually pretty tasty.
That actually sounds.
It's a heart attack on
That's still another heart attack.
Just a mild heart attack. Yeah.
I was gonna say like I feel like that the idea behind going crazy, just when people are sitting in their room like in maybe afters or something, they've had a big night and they're like, you know what we need to do? We need to do something crazy. We need to make something, and they're like, oh yeah,
That's the cops.
Coppers are coming after us. Like, when people like come up with ideas, so they go like the full extreme, but then they try. Usually, what happens is like go really extreme and then taper it back.
Oh,
a bit.
never go full retard.
They went full. They just went
Full
full extreme,
retard.
and I was just like, "That's it. We're gonna keep that."
Never go full retard. You can't come back from that.
I actually remember when I first saw it. Like I first saw the restaurant, and my partner at the time was sitting there. I was like, "What is this?
You can't do that."
I was like, "This is." Look at that. I was like, that looks
Taking the piss.
Yeah.
But that's where you go more viral, and that's where we got more.
That's probably why it's because it's a franchise now, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
There's many.
Yeah, we've got 10 restaurants around Australia.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I've just been a silent partner.
I've just blown up. You've been a silent partner.
Yeah. See you.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, not so silent now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, fuck.
The rest of the world's gonna know. I don't even know how many. Few people listen to this, but not heaps.
I do.
You listen? Do you?
Yeah, I'll listen to this one.
Yeah, I listen to it religiously. I've gone
every
through
week.
all 56 of them.
Yeah. Is it 56?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I thought it was 57.
57 now.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. That's So after you worked for Milky Lane, where did you kind of like jump from after that?
I was at Milky Lane until 2019 or something. And then I met a guy called Stuart Cook. He had a concept called Flav, which was a vegan franchise that he was looking at. It's like totally opposite from Milky.
One is like all meat, meat, dairy, all this like heavily processed like nonsense.
Yeah.
And then you go, actually no, vegan food, a lot of that's processed too, unless it's like just
But yeah, we actually had a meeting at Milky Lane. He was potentially going to do some consulting for us as a CEO. He pulled me aside afterwards and he's like, man, I've got this concept that I've been working on with my wife called Flav. It's a vegan franchise. We're looking for a chef that's not vegan himself that specializes in vegan food. He's like, do you know of anyone? I was like, well, I mean, I worked for Gordon Ramsay. I spent about 7 years working with Paul McCartney cooking vegan food. I could potentially help.
Is he vegan? Paul McCartney?
Yeah. That's how I did 7 years of cooking vegan food. And then just dropped the mic and it was like, is that enough for you? Would that work?
I'm sure that will.
Yeah,
just send me. Send me the.
Just deal with that.
Tell me what time you want to turn up.
Let that process. But yeah, so the original plan was just to do some consulting, just write their menu. But yeah, the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. I could be a bit more creative. So just so we were making, because Paul was vegan, but he still liked the meat texture of meat.
When did he go vegan?
It was back in the day.
That was like around the acid days, wasn't it? When
Yeah,
when he
70s,
went to
80s.
India and stuff.
Yeah, his wife Linda McCartney got him into it.
Ah, okay.
But I mean, he still liked the taste and flavour. So
Yeah, okay.
working with him, we had to recreate those flavours and textures. And then you're also cooking for all his roadies and stuff that aren't vegan at all. But he would make his whole crew eat vegan food.
I mean, you can't really say no. I feel like someone of his caliber, if he's like, you're going to be eating vegan, you'd be
Yeah.
like,
Also, he fired someone for having a McDonald's milkshake in the office once.
really?
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's hectic.
Yeah, it's hectic. But I mean, yeah, when I was working for him, the first time I worked with him, for the first 2 months we had rehearsals, so I basically had to eat vegan food for 2 months. And I was cooked for the first 2 weeks, and then your body gets used to it. And then you finally get a day off. I go for a steak, but your body's...
Yeah, you can't. I used to be vegan.
Yeah.
I did vegan and veggie for a few years, and it was like, when I went back to meat, I was like, oh, like it's quite dense.
Yeah, your body's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? But yeah.
That's in... I can't believe he fights. What? That's loose.
Yeah, it means business.
Were you there when that happened?
Nah, it was the tour before. I think it was. Or maybe it's just a rumour. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it happened.
Is he really... Is he an intense person then?
Nah, he's awesome. Super cool. He, like, the first time I met him at the buffet, he was like, hi, I'm Paul. I'm like, hey, Paul, I'm Scott. He's like, nice to meet you. Fuck, I wonder if I could tell the story.
Sure you can.
Yeah.
Just tell it, and then if I have to cut
You
it...
can delete it,
If
yeah.
you don't, if you're
Yeah,
like, oh,
and
don't.
he's like, oh, you're from New Zealand? He's like, a lot of my friends are sheep shearers, not sheep shaggers. I know you guys get a lot of shit for shagging sheep. And I'm like, yeah, only female sheep. I'm not a sicko. And we cracked up, and that was the first time I met Paul McCartney.
Imagine if I've been...
It was like, hi, I'm Paul. I'm like, yeah, you are.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, hi, I'm Paul. You're like, you have to act normal. Like,
Yeah.
oh, really? Hi,
Oh,
Paul.
yeah.
Amazing.
I thought your name was Terrence.
Yeah, that's... Because at his level, too, it's like everyone knows who he is.
Yeah. Unless
You
you're
know,
like, yeah.
People could... Like, Pink Floyd, for example, you can get away... Like, if he came up to me and said his name,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any idea who he is.
Paul McCartney?
No, not Paul McCartney. Like this... What's his name?
Roger Waters.
That guy.
Yeah.
I literally would have no idea.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, yeah, what do you do? He'd be
Yeah,
like,
cool.
oh, I'm in this band. I'd be like, oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
tell me about it, blah, blah,
Tell
blah.
me about it.
I've had that happen before, actually. Someone, not on that level, but similar, like was an artist and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, tell me about it. And he's like, oh, I do this. And I was like, wait a second, are you? He's
Are
like,
you?
yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
But I just but on Paul's level, it's like everyone knows. Like, I don't think there'd be a soul in the world who wouldn't know who he is.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah.
No, and just because of like the weight, you know, their music transcends like generations.
Yeah, so many.
So you couldn't. So like to act normal, or you're like, oh, Paul, is it
think-
Paul?
Yeah, Paul Dog, Paulie.
Paul, is that what you said? Like such a
Yeah,
that situation
pretty
is
surreal.
so
Yeah.
bizarre.
Yeah, it was a cool feeling. It was cool. And then, went on to spend 7 years cooking for him.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that's how I got into the whole vegan thing. And then, I did Flav. So I was consulting. The more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. Then I decided to come on full-time with Flav. I got a full-time position. And then, became a silent partner at Milky. And then did that for 4 years.
So, you became a silent partner through like going to the other restaurant and you're like, oh, I'm just going to step down from here, but still have.
Well, working for a vegan company, you couldn't really promote meat like Milky Lane and stuff. So I had to kind of.
Especially in Sydney.
Yeah.
So there's some pretty aggressive vegans getting around
Yeah,
that area.
Yeah.
Sydney itself, or maybe just all cities, but I've only lived in Sydney, so it's so progressive.
Yeah.
It's like on the other end of the pendulum on
Yeah,
progressive.
yeah.
It's like you have to be scared. You got to tippy toe around what you say, otherwise people get really upset on both ends of the spectrum.
So
left and
emotional.
right. Everyone's so emotional.
Yeah. So sensitive.
So weak.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hectic.
Yeah.
What was like the three? So I'm starting this new segment called Wins and Learns.
Yep.
In my other episode. If you haven't listened to that, actually, guys, go back, listen to it. Comes out every second week after the guest episodes. It's called Grandma's Roast. But in that segment, I do what's called Wins and Learns.
Cool.
And I'd be fascinated to know what your wins and learns have been for your career so far. So you can say 3 wins and 3 learns.
Yeah.
But actually, now that I've heard all this story, I'd be really fascinated to know what your wins and learns would have been.
Yeah. First win, I guess, working with Gordon Ramsay, that was amazing. Learned a lot. Kind of set me up for my whole career, just like teaching me the bases of cooking, how to do everything right. Proper discipline. Working for the musicians for years, that was amazing to travel the world and spend time with these amazing artists. And then finally working at Shelter. It's always been my dream to end up here in Bali, and it's happening. Yeah, it's working for this amazing company and working with Steve Moore, amazing chef.
He's very talented.
Amazing. Yeah.
He's freakily talented.
He's the man.
He just every week he's pulling something new.
Yeah.
I can't keep up anymore. I'm like, just tell me when you're going to have something and I'll just come in. Every day he's on his story, he's like, oh, we just made this. Yeah. Oh, we just made that. I'm like, just relax for a second.
Calm the farm.
Just calm down. I can't keep up with all this food.
Yeah. There's some wins.
And what were your learns? Like, was there any deep learns that you've reflected on that have kind of followed you through your career?
Yeah, I mean, I learned. Oh, one sec. I learned how to work hard and appreciate it. You know, working with Gordon. And appreciate life as well. It's not all work. Like when I worked with him, it was just like 1 year of just working non-stop. There was no life. And I learned a lot. But, you know, after working with him for a year, I was like white, skinny, and I basically needed like to sleep for 2 weeks. And then you learn it's all about balance, which is amazing now. Like I'm working at Shelter, I'm working hard, but I'm also getting an amazing balance as well. I can go surfing, you know, have my mornings, go training, and then I'm working hard during the day and night. But yeah, it's all about balance.
I think that is like a big learn is that you have to do the really hard thing to understand that, you know, it's better. It's kind of similar to if you start a creative project. You need to go balls in, like balls to the wall to like get the foundations and figure out how everything works. And then once you understand the foundations and you can do that properly, then you can like take your foot off the accelerator and just, all right, now I can focus more specifically on certain things so I can also live a good life, but you know, flourish, because you can't really flourish if you don't know the foundations, if that makes sense. Totally. Like you still need to learn the base.
You got to pay your dues, do the hard work.
Which I feel like a lot of people these days don't really understand.
Nah, pussies.
Everyone just wants everything. like just thrown it.
No, you got to work, grind. You got to work your long hours and learn.
That's why I think chefing it's a good. As much as I wouldn't ever be a chef, but it's like if you were to go, well, what does hard work actually look like? Yeah, you could just go, well, just go be a chef. Yeah, and you would see exactly what we're talking about.
Try going on tour, building a kitchen, go to the markets. You know, we're doing an 36-hour day. Yeah, it's full on.
That is full on.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
So now that you live in Bali, what's you finally made it to your final destination of where you want to be now? Yeah. Probably for the rest of your life, I'd assume. So what does that part of your life look like now that you've done all this other stuff?
It's good. It's going to be good. Yeah.
Do you have any like goals or plans that because you know what, like I think in careers and in life you have this end goal. Yeah. And then when you get to that end goal, it's like, well, now what am I supposed to do?
What's next?
Do you have anything that's coming up on the horizon that you're kind of, even if just not in your career, but like in your personal life, you're like, oh yeah, I've started.
Oh yeah, I guess it's time I start a family and meet someone. Yeah, I'm still single and stuff. So.
All right, ladies. This has now become a dating show. Yeah. So you want to have a family?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, eventually I'll want to do my own restaurant here. Maybe a few other places. Yeah, my friend's got some land over in Java and stuff, and I'd love to do a little restaurant on the beach. Something super quiet. But yeah, I'm working with the boys at Shelter and just learning heaps from those guys, and we've got big plans, so it's super exciting.
I actually know there's big plans coming.
Yeah,
sucked in everyone. I'm friends with them. Yeah,
but yeah, exciting times with Shelter. And then eventually I'll do my own place.
Man, I'm pumped for that. Yeah. It's gonna be. You're gonna be like is it Blue Crush with Paul Walker and Jessica Alba?
Exactly like
that. That was like my favorite movie growing up.
Who?
Who's what?
What?
What was it? But that you and me.
Yeah.
that
I'll
was
be Jessica Alba.
yes. I'll be the cool, muscular Paul Walker.
Yeah.
No, actually, you're more ripped than me. I'll be Jessica Alba. It's alright. Fuck it. I'll take it. But that movie is that movie and Surf's Up are my probably my top two favorite movies.
Yeah, cool.
And the whole vibe around Surf's Up is what I pictured when you said that, have like a little bar / restaurant on the beach.
Mates
little Copacabana kind of thing going
mates
on.
Come around from around the world, come visit.
Yeah, just come hang out.
Yeah, I still have a few places here in Bali and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd have that place that I can go out to and just cook what I want to cook and just have mates over.
It'd be cool to have like a revolving menu where every day is different.
That would be the plan. Yeah, so I'll just super small place and just kind of cook what I want to cook on the day. And if I don't want to open, I won't open. I'll just drink beer.
So glad we're friends.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, it has come down to the end of the podcast. Now,
Awesome.
before we get out of here, we do two things. Well, I do two things. I don't know why I say we, but you can be a part of it.
Okay.
But essentially, you get to shout out a local legend or international legend in your case who you think should come on the show. And then you get to give a piece of advice to anyone listening right now that may need to start their project. Or just start any creative project or get off their ass and do something.
Yep. So shout out.
Yep. Shout out a local legend local or international legend.
Well, I'll shout out to my mate Jake Patane. I work with him at Flav. It's his birthday today.
Shout out Jake. Happy birthday.
Yeah, he's the man. He'll be coming out here soon for the visit. What was the other one?
You get to give a piece of advice to anyone listening that may need to start their project. You don't need to know them. Just
you just got to work hard. Yeah, put your heart and soul into something, and just really you got to enjoy what you do. If you're doing something I love cooking, and you got to enjoy what you do, and work hard, and you'll reap the benefits.
like the restaurant on the beach.
Yeah, it's coming.
No, that's sick, man. Well, Scotty, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
You told me a lot of things that I didn't know about you. So
yeah,
now
there's a lot more stories there too.
But they can only be told off. There's But no, thank you so much, man, for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks,
I'm glad to be in the new podcast room. Anyone listening right now, we have just opened up a podcast studio here at AS Studios. You can rent it out. So if you want to know more about that, I'll be putting more links up and stuff later on. Everyone else, please follow, subscribe, share, tell your grandma about it, and most of all, hang around for the next one. Ciao.